All right, let's dive into a scenario that honestly every IT and security pro dreads. A successful phishing attack has just landed in your environment. The clock is already ticking, the pressure is on, and your next move is absolutely critical. We're going to break down exactly how to handle it. So, the alert hits your screen. Bam! A user clicked the link, credentials might be out in the wild. What is your very first move? And this isn't some hypothetical quiz. Your answer in these first few moments can literally determine the outcome of the next 48 hours. And that's the window you've got. 48 hours. You see, a phishing incident isn't just an inbox problem. It is a time problem. The real race isn't just containing that initial breach. It's about finding every single vulnerability across your network before the attacker does.
Yeah, this whole pressure cooker situation highlights the core challenge, which we're just going to call the time problem. It's not just about patching something. It's about finding every vulnerable device before it's way too late.
This quote right here just cuts through all the noise. You know, the first reaction for so many of us is to ask, okay, what's the best tool for this? But that's a trap. The real answer isn't some magic piece of software. It's a proven approach that gets you a complete, defensible list of your assets fast. And that approach, it all starts with a really critical mindset shift. Coverage before scanning. What does that mean? It means you don't just fire up your scanners and hope for the best. First, you have to know what you're even supposed to be scanning. And here's what that looks like in action. Asking which tool is best sends your team down a total rabbit hole. You're comparing features, you're looking at vendors, but asking, do we have full coverage? Well, that forces you to confront the real problem. What devices are we not even seeing right now? So why is getting full coverage so darn difficult? Well, it's because our device data is almost always fragmented, scattered all over the place. Your endpoint management tool, your MDM, it might cover laptops, but totally miss the servers. Your EDR sees active threats, sure, but it might not give you clean patch reports. And your directories? Come on, we know they're full of stale records. Each one of these is a potential blind spot. So how do you solve this mess when you're under intense pressure? You need a playbook. Let's walk through a practical, step-by-step plan you can actually use the moment that alert sounds. And here it is. This is your 48-hour roadmap from total chaos to being back in control. We start with containment, then we build our device roster, get a fast view of the damage, prioritize our actions, and finally, we patch and verify. This exact sequence is absolutely key. Let's break that down a bit. Step 1, containment. Get those suspicious machines isolated and figure out who your high-risk users are. Now, step 2 is where the magic happens. You build a master device roster by merging data from all your systems. Only then, in step 3, do you go looking for patch gaps. Step 4 is all about smart prioritization, breaking that big list into actionable groups. And finally, step 5 is proof of closure, a report that shows exactly what you did and what changed. Okay. So after all that talk about not focusing on the tool, guess what? We're going to talk about tools. But here's the key difference. We're doing it after we've established the right process. Once you have that coverage-first mindset, now you can pick the right tool path for your specific environment. Look, the best tool simply depends on where you already have the best coverage. If you're a heavy Microsoft shop, their native tools offer fantastic speed. If your EDR gives you the most reliable real-time inventory, then you should lead with that. For those really diverse environments, with lots of shadow IT, a vulnerability platform gives you that breadth. And for massive fleets, an endpoint ops platform gives you speed and control at scale. It's all about playing to your existing strengths. Now, just as important as the playbook is knowing the pitfalls. So let's look at the 3 most common mistakes that will completely derail your 48-hour response and just waste precious time. First up, and this one is huge, focusing only on the operating system. After a phish, an attacker's easiest path forward is often through some third-party app. Think browsers, PDF readers, all those meeting clients. Ignoring these means your "we're patched" status might be technically true, but it's practically useless. Mistake number 2 is trusting a single source of truth for your device list. I know, we've hit this point a few times, but it is that important. Your MDM will have gaps. Your directory has stale records. If the goal is to check every device, then you absolutely need a merged, reconciled roster. No single system is ever perfect. And the final mistake is ending your response with just a list of problems.
It's not enough to just identify the gaps. You have to show that they've been fixed with timestamps and clear ownership for any exceptions. Without that proof of closure, you are guaranteed to repeat this exact same fire drill during the next incident.
So, what is the ultimate goal here? It's to build a true workflow. This is a repeatable, predictable process that connects patch status directly to a clean, reliable, and owned device inventory. This is how you move from constantly reacting to actually being in control. Which brings us to our final question, the one for you to take back to your team. Is your patching process a frantic, stressful fire drill every single time there's an incident? Or is it a calm, predictable workflow? The difference between those two is everything we've just talked about. A focus on coverage before scanning, a process over a tool, and always, always having proof of closure. That right there is the path from chaos to control.